in this case. And so do we have any other cross notice of
We did
hearing?
not, Your Honor.
All right, so Ms. Holiday Tobias, what say you on the status of this case?
So since the last CMC, Your Honor, we have had some additional discovery in this case. In particular, Mr. Jacobs filed some non-party discovery against Bank of America. I don't believe that anybody from Bank of America, I didn't hear anybody come on for Bank of America, but they filed an objection to that, I believe, and I honestly don't know the status of that, but I understand that there might be some workout going on there. Since the moratorium, the administrative order has been lifted, and this case is not subject to the CARES Act, the plaintiff will be filing a motion for alias summons as to the named borrower, who is not represented by Mr. Jacobs, because he's been evading service, to get that finally resolved. And then we will update the motion for summary judgment and hopefully push this case forward, in addition to resolving any open discovery matters that may be between plaintiff and the third part, Mr. Coyle, who is the third-party purchaser.
Okay, so it sounds like this is will be in need of another CMC once some of these issues are all either worked out or not worked out. Do you have a time period, Ms. Holiday, that you would be requesting another CMC?
We would ask him, yes, Your Honor, we would ask for another CMC in 60 days.
All right, Mr. Jacobs, do you have anything to add?
Yes, Your Honor. I mean, it's a very difficult position for me to be in. This is another one of these cases with the forged countrywide endorsement. Bank of America is again trying to stall any discovery into what is criminal fraud on the court. The problem I have, Your Honor, is that I don't think we can move forward because I've brought this to the court's attention now multiple times. I've brought to the attention that the court has been basically lied to by various plaintiffs' lawyers who have pushed theories that have been disproven in court, that have lied about defying other judges, that have lied about destroying nearly $2 billion in evidence, and the court was unfazed. The court didn't stop. Matter of fact, the court has entered orders that basically says this is okay, that there is no high level of standard of contact for Bank of America. I've advised the court that this is happening with JP Morgan Chase. I've advised the court that there's another separate fraud involving the lying about the loan boarding process. So I have my job to do, and I've been doing it. And this is only since I've met this, since Your Honor and I have met the first time, I've been saying basically this is the only cases we seem to keep having in front of each other are these cases involving this systemic fraud, which is Rico, which is felony forgery, felony perjury, and violates the federal and state Rico Act. There was a False Claims Act case that was just unsealed in federal court on Friday that deals with exactly these. It deals with the same issues though. It still deals with the fraud on the court, and I'm just in a position where, Judge Stone was in this division for years. He's the former chief judge of the 4th DCA. He ordered all this discovery to go forward, and now we're in front of it. Your Honor, you've been lied to by plaintiffs' counsels in these cases for months, taking no action to stop them, and are basically pushing forward as if the 2nd DCA has not ruled that it's an abuse of discretion to reject claims that they fraudulently created evidence of standing. The 2nd DCA is the only controlling law on point. Says that I've alleged that they added the endorsement after the fact, which is perjury or forgery. They lied about it, which is perjury, and they put it on a fake assignment to make it worse. And the 2nd DCA say it's abuse of discretion to ignore that. And I'm just at this place, Your Honor. With all due respect, I think that it is not a case we should be working on together. I do not feel that this court is being fair and impartial. I feel as though the court has made a decision that it is okay to commit criminal activity in foreclosures. And particularly as we enter into this COVID crisis where, it almost seems like, like the gates are about to unleash on everybody. And it's going to be fraudulent foreclosures that are going to take people out of their homes and put them into the street during a pandemic. I personally will not sit silently by and allow that to happen. I think everyone's entitled to due process and a fair opportunity to be heard. And I think that this case management conference, is just setting up that there's another one of these cases that the court should consider. And the court isn't considering it so far. I've asked now 3 times or twice for the court to, I filed formal motions to disqualify the court. The court granted two of the cases. One of them wasn't in our bankruptcy hold, and the court sua sponte granted recusal, and then decided that it wouldn't grant recusal on any other case, including one that was consolidated with the ones that you had granted this disqualification on. And then when Your Honor realized, and then I told Your Honor, I said, no, Your Honor.
Mr. Jacobs, please, what you're doing right now is going outside the scope of case management on this case. And if you want to,
there's discovery that needs to be dealt with. The Bank of America has again filed an objection to producing the evidence that they produced in other cases pursuant to Judge Stone's exact orders. This is not like...
We're not here on a discovery motion right now, Mr. Jacobs. We're here in case management. And
I'm telling you what we need to do to move the case. In order to move the case forward, Your Honor, I need a hearing on the discovery from Bank of America. I think that the court should consider that there's fraud in the court, maybe look to have an evidentiary hearing on the fraud of the court issues. And if the court is not willing to address these fraud in the court issues, then I think the court has basically said, I've prejudged the case. I'm assuming there's no fraud in the court. I'm not going to allow there to be any evidence or testimony of fraud on the court. I'm going to ignore criminal activity, which, not surprisingly, the Trump administration just Friday said, we're okay with all of this criminal activity. We're not going to do anything about it. Which to me is shocking. This is a slap in the face to what Kamala Harris did when she was the Attorney General of California. She got...
Mr. Jacobs, again, this is not a political podium right now.
This is a court of law. This is a court of law, and I'm suggesting that my clients are being... I'm suggesting that my clients are not being given a fair opportunity to be heard, and I don't think that it's fair that the court is allowing lawyers to present false evidence to it without question. And I've asked the court to recuse herself now formally twice, and I'll do it again for a 3rd time. But if you want to move this case forward, we need to have a fair adjudication under Sorensen of whether or not the endorsements were added after the fact, whether it was backdated by perjury, and that is what's waiting in front of the judge.
Case management, we're going to reset this for another case management in 60 days. And it sounds like there's some issues of discovery that Mr. Jacobs says that he wants to file. Ms. Holliday, you've said there's some pending motions and things that need to be resolved and other issues that are being discussed. So,
Your Honor, set a hearing on Bank of America's objections.
For another 60 days, Mr. Jacobs, I have concluded. I've made that's all I will hear today, Mr. Jacobs. That's all that's before the court. I am not going to hear anything further, Mr. Jacobs. This is not the time to make these arguments or speeches regarding, we're just setting another case management. There are issues that need to be resolved, and nothing else is before the court other than the case management. There is not any other pending motion.
In order to move it, there is a motion. There is right now. Bank of America has blocked the discovery about the crucial issue. Essentially, can we have a hearing on that?
Mr. Jacobs,
I'm asking her to set a hearing. Can we set a hearing on that?
I don't set them. My JA does. So contact my JA if you want to set a hearing. Then contact my judicial assistant to set the hearing. Mr. Jacobs, you know full well the procedure in Division 11 that this court doesn't set its own hearings on during the docket. You know,
I don't understand. I don't understand what.
We're concluded. Thank you. All right, David, set another CMC on case number, Ms. Holliday, I believe this is 187621, correct?
That's correct, Your Honor.
All right, David, set another case management in 60 days on 18-7621 HSBC versus Cole. Thank you so much. Have a good day. Do you have anything further, Ms. Holliday, before the court?
I do not. Thank you for your time this morning.
Jacobs, do you have any other cases before the court?
Yes, I do, Your Honor. Yes, I do. I have a cop case.
Hold that thought, Mr. Jacobs. You have another case? Hold on, I'm going through the docket now. Okay, thank you. All right, you may be excused, Ms. Halliday. All right, so next case up, CA,
Excuse me, Your Honor. I have Judge Fine has passed my case now multiple times, waiting for me to finish these proceedings. I do have the mortgage research versus Cobb case, which I'd ask Your Honor.
is that on CMC?
That's on CMC. That's what I was
All right,
told.
okay, wait, okay, that's 18-28276, Mortgage Research Center versus Cobb?
That's it.
All right, are you representing this, the Cobb?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, do you have a court reporter here?
We should.
Yes, ma'am. Court reporter here.
Thank you. All right, and who's here on behalf of the Plaintiff Mortgage Research Center?
Silver J. Bond on behalf of the plaintiff.
All right, Ms. Bond, is there anybody else here on this case? All right, Ms. Bond, what say you on the status of this case?
This case is at issue. Trial was previously continued so that we could conduct a deposition. That deposition has